Hello Taurus, and welcome to my channel, Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, and we're doing a new spread this week looking at your past energy, your present energy, and your immediate future energy in love. The goal is really to look at, what is your recent past experience in love, how is that affecting you now, and what do you need to know moving forward in order to attract the love that you are truly deserving of and desiring of. As I do in all of my readings, I've pulled the overall energy and clarified those messages, as well as the overall theme for the reading, which we will jump into in just a second, but I still have the tarot deck I'll be using, the clarification deck, and the advice deck I will be pulling from to close out the reading in the extended. Any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading with me is in the description box below. Last thing, please remember that these are general readings. They are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So do please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and leave what does not. All right, Taurus, let's jump on in. And I am doing these readings assuming that you aren't currently dealing with someone, but if you are, and these messages, these can still resonate with you, just you have to take it as it applies to your personal situation. Anyway, in your recent past, you have stability with the Three of Pentacles in reverse. It's funny because I feel like these energies very much contradict each other, which I feel is the experience that you've been having, wanting stability, craving commitment, being able, wanting to settle down with someone who is equally as committed to the partnership as you are, but just you haven't been able to find that. Like maybe you've even been married, or maybe you have been in long-term relationships, but it just feels like you haven't been able to really find that commitment to not just, the surface level commitment of being in a connection, but like the commitment that goes further than that, finding someone who is willing to put in the work and the effort and who is willing to do the hard stuff and the growth that comes with creating a sustainable connection. So I feel, when we go through life wanting something and we consistently experience not having that, we can start to doubt that it's never going to happen. And I feel like that's kind of the energy that you're in now, because you have Journey with the Magician. The universe wants you to know that you absolutely can still manifest the love that you are deserving of and desiring of. However, you're in the middle of a journey. Lack and loss are never destinations. They are merely they merely mean that we are in the middle of a journey. So you're still in the process of the growth and the healing and the lessons that come with being able to step into the version of you that is able to attract the love that you are truly desiring of. But I feel part of that journey is realizing that you are deserving of it, because the overall theme of this reading is you deserve love, and it says you are lovable. And I feel like you're starting to doubt that, especially when we experience certain things in our life that kind of show the opposite to us. We start to believe, am I really deserving of love? Like, is that something I can really have? Or is that just like a pipe dream? Like the thought of actually being able to, settle down with someone who loves me unconditionally just as much as I love them. Like, is that even really, possible? And the universe is saying, yeah, absolutely. But the part that needs the most focus for you is the inner growth. In your immediate future, you have inner growth with the star here. As you heal and as you grow, the reflection of what you experience around you starts to change. Our relationships are and will always be a reflection of our inner world. Our reflection with other people is a reflection of our relationship with ourselves. So when we're focused on trying to become what we think we need outside of ourselves in order to be lovable, being more attractive, having more money, being more successful, that stuff doesn't ever really matter. And it certainly won't attract the people in your life that are going to value you for who you really are. But as you heal and you adjust that relationship with yourself, and you learn to love yourself despite your flaws, and you learn to be comfortable with communication and setting boundaries and being vulnerable and, putting yourself out there, that is ultimately what attracts the relationship that you're looking for. We don't attract with things outside of ourselves. We attract with what's going on within us. So understand that the more that you focus on that, the more that you heal, the more that is eventually going to be reflected at you in the relationships that you are deserving of. But it's a journey. It's a process. Trust that process, because I do absolutely feel as if things are working out a little bit better than you think that they are. But let's take a gander. Let's see what you're dealing with here, Taurus. Let's start with this recent past energy. You have stability with the 3 of Pentacles in reverse. Oh my goodness, these cards are being, I was trying to shuffle them earlier too, and they're just being kind of stubborn. I guess that's just kind of the Taurus MO, huh? All right, let's start. I don't like the being stereotypical about zodiac signs, but it's just funny that that's coming through. All right, recent past for Taurus, stability with the 3 of Pentacles in reverse here. Yeah. 2 of Wands in reverse with the Temperance in reverse. Quite a bit of frustration in your past energy, and I feel like that frustration is stemming from not understanding why you haven't been able to have what it is that you want and deserve. And that frustration is understandable. You have every right to be frustrated. However, I do feel like there's more there's more going on than what meets the eye. Like, this isn't so black and white. It's not just, it's not just what's on the surface. And I feel like that's why a lot of what this reading is talking about is understanding that the journey to attracting the love that you desire is where you attract the love that you desire. You know, I think back to the relationships that I had been in and the heartbreaks that I endured and the times where I was treated poorly and the times where, I did treat others poorly. And I think of all of those experiences and everything that they taught me. And I think of the relationships that I have now, and I really do realize that every single one of those were necessary. They all pushed me in a direction that I needed to go to heal and to face things about myself and to, look at those uncomfortable truths and to be honest with myself in ways that I wouldn't have if those things hadn't have happened. And every single time that I was able to do that, I grew a little bit more. I talk about all the time how I truly believe I met my fiance like at the perfect time. Even if I would have met him a couple months before that, I don't think I would have been ready for it. I think I would have sabotaged it. Everything really does happen in divine timing, and the universe does not bring you what is meant for you until you are someone who is able to, yes, attract it, but also sustain it, because the universe doesn't want you messing up what's meant for you. Now, I think a lot of times that comes in the form, our lack of love can appear in the form of people who don't treat us all that well, because we try to change people and we try to turn people into someone that we need them to be in order for us to be loved. And in that process, we're trying to prove that we're lovable. We're trying to show them our value. And in reality, we need to learn that we are valuable, regardless of what other people say or think. And the people who are meant to be in your life will see that without you having to prove it to them. But when we spend a lot of our time trying to do things for love instead of from love, we will always be coming from this place of believing that we are of lacking love for ourselves. And so, a lot of those lessons we might not be able to fully understand in the moment, and it's frustrating because you're like, why not me? Why can't I have what it is that I want? It's not that you can't, and it's certainly not that it's not possible for you. It's just that there are lessons and stepping stones on the path to getting there that are necessary for you to be able to attract that kind of love. And I know that that's not an easy thing to have to face for me. I've been through a lot of failed relationships, and a lot of them, yes, were my fault, and a lot of them I felt like were, more the other person's fault, but I still had fault in that I needed to take accountability for, and so on and so forth. So, I don't know, I feel like that this is very much one of those readings of everything is happening for a reason, and you'll understand that when you get there. What else does Taurus need to know? Here you are. The Hermit with the Queen of Pentacles. Is this something that has happened or needs to happen? Let me clarify this, because whether you're male or female, you're showing up here as the Queen of Pentacles, and then you have this Hermit. The Ten of Pentacles. Oh. Ooh, okay. Here's what's interesting. A lot of the time, we will make the mistake of searching for love in places that are incapable of providing it to us. And that typically comes from this place of believing that we can't have it. And our nervous system, our subconscious, always wants to be right. So it's always going to guide you to places where it can prove these limiting beliefs about yourself correct. And a lot of times that will be searching for love in emotionally unavailable people, or searching for love from people that make you feel like you're unlovable or not good enough or not deserving enough. And when we chase love in that form, what we're actually doing is proving the part of us that thinks we can never have it correct. And so when that doesn't work out, we go, see, I can't have the love that I deserve. You are, so much of what has happened in your past experience in love is not a reflection of what's possible for you, but a reflection of what you think is possible. So ultimately, not a reflection of what you do deserve, but a reflection of what you think you deserve. Because there is this energy of needing to look within at, being honest with yourself about the places that you were searching for love and whether or not those truly made you feel loved and valued, or you were trying to prove your value so that you did feel loved and valued, because that will help you kind of see a little bit more what was in your control, because we can't change other people, and we spend so much of our time trying to do that, and it always ends in heartbreak. You will always end up worse off when you are trying to change somebody else. What you can change, and the only thing that you can focus on, is what's going on within you. Now, one of the things that I want to make absolutely clear is that the limiting beliefs that you have, I'm unlovable and I'm undeserving and I can't have the love that I desire, it is not your fault that you have acquired these limiting beliefs. That is a product of trauma. It's a product of how you've internalized your experience. And those emotions and those feelings and those thoughts are 100% valid. However, nobody can come around and change those for you. You are the only person who can actually reframe yourself to think from a place of believing that you are deserving of love, instead of from a place that you're not, or that you have to prove your value for some reason and in some way. So understand that, it's more of a reflection of what's going on within than some sort of ultimate truth of what you are, capable of having. But again, you have every right to be frustrated. It's very frustrating. I feel like a lot of these experiences really pushed you into a place of healing, because you have the Eight of Wands with the Star, and then there's the Death. So it's almost like, and maybe you didn't realize it at the time, and maybe you are realizing it, maybe you will realize it, but the healing that these connections have kind of pushed you into was the point of those connections. Now, sometimes we have a tendency to look back on our relationships, or on failed relationships, or on relationships that were very painful, and we have a tendency to say, I can't believe I wasted my time, or I can't believe I put so much energy into that, I can't believe, whatever. Those connections have taught you so much about yourself, and you wouldn't know the things you know now if you hadn't have been through those. So now is about taking what you have learned and applying it to your experience as you move forward, so that you can sustain healthier relationships for yourself. What you've been through in the past, they weren't a waste of time. They weren't a waste of energy. They did absolutely play a purpose in your experience. And though you might not fully understand what that is yet, I feel like, because this is the Star, right? You have the Star, this pushed you into healing. That Star is leading you to inner growth. That inner growth is going to lead you to attract better for yourself. So the healing that you've been kind of going through and have had to go through because of these connections is going to take you further than you would have been able to go if they hadn't have happened. I think back on like the worst connection I ever experienced. It was an emotionally abusive relationship. It was horrible. That is one of the best things that ever happened to me, because of the person that I became because of that relationship, and the amount of self-love and self-compassion and just overall like understanding of what I do and don't want in love that came from that experience. And if that hadn't have happened, I can with 100% confidence say I wouldn't be in the relationships that I am now, because I wouldn't have grown in the way that I did. And so if you would have told me that when I was going through it, I probably would have gotten very angry at you. So I'm sorry if this is making you angry. But I can tell you that a lot of times the things that break us the most, that break our heart the most, that crack us open the most, are the things that are actually setting us up for the best experiences in our life. It's just really hard to see that at the time. But in your current energy, you have Journey with the Magician. What does Taurus need to know? with where they're at right now. Okay. I think the thing that you're struggling with the most, you have the Sun, the Tower, and the Two of Cups in reverse, is every time the potential for something positive, a positive relationship, something good in your life happens, it ends up falling apart and you get your heart broken. It's like every time you have the option, oh, this has potential, things could be really good, oh, okay, never mind. And then you feel back to square one, which, again, when you experience that over and over again, then yeah, you are going to start to say, this is never going to happen for me. Because of course you're going to believe that, right? That's what you've experienced. Something that really caught my eye when I was shuffling is on this journey card. On all of these cards, they have like different meanings that it could mean. I don't really take one of those. I kind of just, intuitively take what I feel the card means and then add on to it if I need to. But one of the things that's standing out to me is take a new direction. I've learned that if we approach our relationships from the same place with the same mindset, the same habits, and we attract the people in the same way, yeah, things are going to end up the same. I look back at a lot of the relationships that I had, and there were so many that were pretty much the exact same relationship with different people. And not to the extent that it was like the same relationship, not to be compared to the core, but like the way that connection started, the way that things fell apart, like the cycle was the same. There is a need to recognize how you can change your approach to love, because what you've been doing hasn't been working, right? We know that. So how can you change your approach to do things from a different place, to come, instead of coming from this place of, I need you to value me, I need you to love me, I need you to see me, coming from this place of saying, I love me, I value me, and I see me. And if you don't align with that, that's okay, because I know that if you don't, that means that you're not meant for me, because whoever is meant for me will. Which is why, learning to come from a different place within is going to drastically change your relationships around you, because your intention behind your actions are going to change dramatically. Now, a lot of that comes from a place of having to face your fears of being alone, fears of not having what it is that you need and your desire and what you desire. But you also have to know that your fears are not real. They are valid and they are an experience, and you have to feel them and you have to work through them, but they are not real. Just because you fear being alone doesn't mean if that one relationship with that one person doesn't work out, that doesn't mean you're going to be alone forever. That doesn't mean things are never going to be as good as they could have been in the past. And I think sometimes we have a tendency to talk ourselves into believing if this one path doesn't work, that I can't have what it is that I want and desire, which is never actually true. All right, what else does Taurus need to know about their current energy? So it feels like things are constantly falling apart, and I can understand what that's like. I think that I went through this period in my life where I felt like I was always starting over, and it felt like no matter, and not just in my relationships, but just in all facets of my life, it just felt like I was constantly starting over. What you need to know, because here's the Magician again with the Chariot, as you move forward and you continue to embrace the journey of becoming, who you need to be to attract the love that you desire, you're going to get there. You're going to be able to attract that love. You can take practical steps, such as I always recommend writing out on a piece of paper the kind of love you wish to experience, and write it out as if you are currently experiencing. I am in a relationship with somebody who loves me unconditionally just as much as I love them. I am in a relationship with someone who has the exact same values of me. I am in a relationship with someone who is just as committed to this partnership just as I am. Making it reciprocal and making it focused on how you want to feel. It's not, I'm in a relationship with someone I find attractive, because it's easy to find that. It's easy to find someone you're attracted to. It's easy to find someone that meets those surface level expectations, and we can often mistake those and how we feel about someone for how they make us feel. Do they make you feel loved? Do they make you feel valued? Do they make you feel seen? Do they make you feel heard? And those are the most important things, because if you don't have that, that surface level stuff is going to go away and you're going to be left with nothing. So when we change our approach to what we're looking for and how to go about finding the love that we deserve and desire, we change, we break the cycle. We change up the course of the direction that we're going, which is going to lead to different things. So right now is a time to do that, to kind of take a new approach to your love life and get kind of clear with yourself on what do you want to experience in love. Not just, I want to have a partner, but like, what does that mean for you? Is it someone who is there for you? Is it someone who who is able to meet your needs? Is it someone that reflects the love for yourself back to you? And understand, get real with yourself on what that actually feels like. Because it's so much more than just surface level when it comes down to attracting the love that is truly meant for you, which is why the inner growth is so important. Outer stuff isn't so important. Current energy for Taurus. What does Taurus need to know about their current energy? There's a resistance to change here. I think that we often want to do the same thing we've always done, and it's kind of that definition of insanity, doing the same things over and over again and expecting a different result. I'm not saying you are insane, but I do think that it is kind of human nature in a way to repeat patterns and repeat cycles and repeat behaviors and then get upset when those patterns, cycles, and behaviors produce the same results. I think that one of the best things I ever did for myself was take my power back by saying, okay, what is within my control? Because I can't control other people. I can't control how other people treat me. I can't control what other people think of me. But what I can control is how I respond to the way that people make me feel. And the more that I respond from this place of knowing my worth and knowing I'm deserving, even if I doubt it sometimes, even if sometimes I'm like, oh, that always has led me to better things. It's led me to better relationships. It's led me to better connection with those relationships. And those things never would have been able to happen if I hadn't have gotten real about myself and what was within my control. So, changing your approach is always going to be necessary when things aren't working out. And it's okay to, doubt and to have fear and to second guess yourself. But you have to understand, doing the same thing over and over again is going to produce the same result. And so it sounds so simple, but it's not so easy in practice because sometimes we don't realize how we are doing the same thing over and over again. But as you move forward, focusing on your relationship with yourself and not being so focused on creating love in your life, that will ultimately create love in your life, because that is going to start from within. It's going to start with your energy. Do you appear in your life from a place of joy and excitement and love, or are you coming from this place of sadness, of anger, of grief? Because that is only going to attract more of the same things, and that means there is healing that is needed to help you get to that place of attracting a partner that, first of all, you don't need to be fully healed before you attract a relationship. I can assure you that. First of all, no one is fully healed. Healing is a lifelong journey, lifetimes long journey. When you attract the love that is meant for you, that person can support you in your healing journey. I'm not saying that that's not possible, but when you are so focused on finding that, you don't realize that the point is the inner journey. It has very little to do with what's going on outside of you. So what does Taurus need to know as they're moving forward? What does Taurus need to know moving forward? Look at what's in your future. Look at Ace of Pentacles, Ten of Cups. The love that you're looking for, the opportunity for it. What is it on the other side of? World in reverse, a cycle. What is that cycle? Emperor in reverse, control. Control, trying to change other people, trying to force connections that don't align with you, trying to, force love in places that it doesn't exist. Attraction versus chasing it's so important to learn to attract rather than chase. They really do say, they say that you find the love that's meant for you when you stop looking for it. 1,000,000% true. When you stop trying to force it and you stop trying to chase it and you stop trying to create it and you focus on your relationship with yourself, on building a life that makes you happy outside of romantic love, you are actively creating it in those moments. Now that doesn't mean stop putting yourself out there. That doesn't mean, I'm not saying like don't, if it comes around and you have an opportunity for a date, go on that date, But when we're trying to force it and control it and create it with that control, we are actually actively pushing it away. So the thing that the universe wants you to know through this reading is it is possible. Like it's not only is it not possible, but the opportunity for it exists in your energy field. It's showing up in this reading. Ace of Pentacles, Ten of Cups, it's right here. But the cycle of control is ultimately what's getting in the way for you here. So if the universe said, hey, Taurus, the love that you desire and deserve that's going to respect you, love you unconditionally, mutual attraction, mutual, same values, everything's going to align. That exists for you. But you have to learn to choose it and to wait for it so that it can find you. You would stop looking for it in people that it didn't exist in. You'd stop looking for it in people that you had to constantly beg to treat you right. You'd stop looking for it in people who showed up with the bare minimum because you would know it existed. So you'd stop trying to force it. You'd stop trying to create it, and you would be willing to surrender to the flow of the journey to getting there. But you doubt it's possible. You doubt you can have it. You doubt you're deserving of it. You doubt you're lovable. So therefore, whenever you find an opportunity for it, you say, this must be it. I must create it in this moment, because if I don't have it here, I'm not going to have it here. And we all have all done it, okay? We've all been there. We've all been in connections where we try to create it or force it in some way, shape, or form. We've all been in connections where maybe we pushed away love when we shouldn't have. It's the natural part of learning to give and receive love in a healthy form. But you need to know it's possible to like the realist extent for you. It's just the need to understand that it's not about what you do. It's about how you shift your energy within you to bring it into fruition for you. What else does Taurus need to know moving forward? Okay. As within, so without. So you have the Four of Swords here. This Four of Swords is, this need to, and it's funny because you have this Hermit too. Four of Swords, you have this inner growth. This is so much about the way you think about yourself, the value you believe that you bring to the table. When you look at yourself in the mirror, do you say nice things? Or do you immediately focus on all the things you think you should change? When you are in an interaction, having a conversation with someone, do you say what truly aligns with your soul, or do you pretend to be whoever you think you need to be in the moment to get that person's approval? And I'm not saying you do these things. I'm genuinely, I'm trying to provide examples. How we interact with the people around us and how we show up in the world around us is what is going to attract what is meant for us. And the people that are truly meant for you cannot find you if you are not putting who you truly are out there. But you're not going to feel comfortable putting who you truly are out there until you fully love who your authentic self is, so that you're no longer trying to be somebody that you think someone wants or needs, but you're being fully yourself, and you know that who you truly are on that soul level is lovable. Because you are, and who you are is absolutely lovable. But until you fully believe that, you are going to continue to attract people that make you feel the opposite, who won't commit to you, who won't choose you, who won't, give you the same energy that you're giving them. And that is not your fault, okay? I'm not sitting here saying this is anything to shame or guilt yourself for. What I'm saying is you have learned through experiences, through, maybe childhood love throughout your adulthood, that you're not deserving and not capable of the love that you desire, because why would you believe you're deserving and capable of something that you have not experienced? Okay? Not your fault. However, what you've experienced is not a reflection of what is possible for you. It's a reflection of what you think is possible for you. And the more that you focus on that inner world, the more that inner world is going to shift in your outer world. What else does Taurus need to know moving forward? Learning to show up for yourself with boundaries, being unapologetic about your needs, being compassionate towards yourself, regardless of your fear of losing someone. That is the key. I have learned that anything that is lost because you're choosing yourself, because you're standing up for yourself, you're setting a boundary, you're speaking up about what you need, is not a loss, but alignment. But when we're so afraid of losing people or losing, which is, again, natural and human, but when we're more afraid of losing someone that we will start to sacrifice our needs and our worth for the sake of a connection, we will end up more hurt in the end. The more that we learn to show up saying, this is who I am, this is what I require, this is what I'm looking for, this is what I know I'm deserving of, and if you can't meet that, that's okay, because I know somebody out there will, and if it's not you, then I don't want to waste my time trying to prove to you that I am deserving and valuable, because if you don't see that, then I can't, I'm not going to, like I just said, waste my time trying to prove it to you. And that might sound crazy. You might be like, well, how is someone supposed to know my value if I don't show them? Because you are valuable for who you are, not for the value that you provide other people. And other people who are working on themselves and who have done the healing, who are, working on the inner growth themselves are going to recognize that, because they are going to feel the exact same way about them. And that's where you align with people who are at your place of healing. I know for the longest time, I was like, there's no way I'm ever going to meet a man that has grown or that is healed or that can match me on an emotionally intelligent kind of level. And I'm pretty sure that my fiance is more emotionally intelligent than I am. It was crazy when I first met him, because I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know you existed. It exists, and it's possible. And we have our doubts about what's possible because of what we've experienced. But what you've experienced is not a reflection of what's possible, but a reflection of what you think is possible. So if you truly, I encourage you to ask yourself, okay, if I truly believe that there is someone out there who is capable of loving me unconditionally, supporting me in the ways that I deserve to be supported, who will communicate, who will be vulnerable, who is willing to do the growth, who is open to seeing things from my perspective, who has the same values as me, if you know that person exists, if you could know that, how would your actions change? How would you approach your life? You would probably approach it from a much different perspective, because it wouldn't be trying to create it, it would be trying to find it, which are two very different things. Trying to create it is coming from a place of force and control, and I need you to be something for me, because if you are not that, then I can't have what I need. That is never going to get you the love that you deserve. The place that you have to come from is this place of saying, I know that the people who are meant for me are going to find me, because I know I'm deserving of love. And I know that I'm lovable, and I know there are people out there who are going to love me for who I am. I just have to find them by showing up as my authentic self, being honest about my needs and setting boundaries when appropriate. Well, also, I think one of the things that I always forget to mention about boundaries, but is really important about boundaries is coming from the place of saying, I know what I bring to the table. I bring unconditional love. I bring empathy and understanding and communication and vulnerability. I'm just looking for that in return. That's really what boundaries are saying, is I know my value and I'm protecting that because I know what I'm deserving of receiving. But okay, we're going to hop on over to the extended. This extended is going to focus on what you can do to move forward in alignment with your higher self to attract the love you desire and deserve. This is what you need to know. I kind of talked about some things you can do, but this is really diving into what you can do. And then I have an advice card to pull at the very end. Thank you so much, Taurus, as always, for your support of my channel. I do hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, I wish you nothing but love and healing on your journey moving forward. Bye, Taurus.